Hey folks, you wanted a tiny rover. I really don't know how I kind of lost touch with this game for a little bit, so yeah, I have over 500 crafts to save alone, and this is a sandbox. You may be asking yourselves why am I doing this in a sandbox career sim? Well, there's a few basic rules I play. One, I can't really use I can use the reverting system, but I cannot use the quick save and quick loading system. Two, I must be able to launch the craft minimum. Minimum will run like 50 kWh. Any stages following that can have anything lower than three, in order to set up I can set up orbital infrastructure, such as comm, satellite, and space station, but I have a partner. Yeah. I'm on a potato computer, so just running big crafts in general, it's not very easy. So, and I can also put as much detail as I want into that, but there's a certain limit to the game, and this little canister is pushing the limits of my abilities a little too much. You may want to see the previous launch which occurred. My previous attempt to get out here ended up with the so I used to experimenting with the crack and drive system. And yeah, it broke apart on activation. I forgot to shut off the engine while I was fiddling with some of the settings, and I may have sent it in the opposite direction at relativistic speeds, but well, it broke up and exploded. So that's gonna be a mess I'm gonna have to clean up. There's chunks of it, at least 4 or 5 chunks flying by Duna. I went ahead and launched a whole new mission directly after that incident. And yeah. The power of Kraken drives, people. The power of Kraken drives. So yeah, I used a Kraken drive to get out here in such a fast time. It was touch and go for a bit. There's bits and pieces of rover debris there's like debris everywhere here. You may be wondering, why did I decide to launch here? Well, or land here. Well, I pretty much land these rovers just about anywhere. They don't have much useful science anyways. So the hope is I find an Easter egg. I can obviously go and look where the coordinate systems for every Easter egg and go there and have a little fun, but you know, it's not really fun if you just do it. It's more fun to land at random spots that may or may not have interesting geology or just other fun things to do. I just like driving around Duna. I think Duna's a very interesting planet. Sure, it's pretty barren. I'm thinking of getting the parallax mod. I don't think I can run that. And we've touched down. This time far more successfully. I have to remember to control from here, or else the whole thing starts to get attacked by the Kraken, because I can't switch. The crafts are so close together, it doesn't like to switch. Let's decouple. There we go. Now let's really turn the lights on. Turn this light off. And run some science. This is sandbox mode. Science and funds don't matter. But I just like to mess around with stuff. A little bit of button pushing. There is, in fact, some spare parts. That's an older part that no longer applies to this craft. That was for a previous version. I still have yet to update the inventory for that. My legs are cold. My foot hurts. Anyways, let's drive around a bit. Besides, I wouldn't take you guys all the way. I wouldn't go all the way out to Duna if it wasn't to drive one of these little rovers around. This rover's, I say this rover's small. It's small compared to some of the other things you can build in the game. It's not the smallest, basically uncrewed vehicle you can build. You can build stuff like missiles and stuff that are tiny. But yeah, let's just let's get away from this debris field and let's head into the... I landed relatively close, or yeah, on the wall of the large, I guess, network of... looks like what looks to be some sort of water basin or ocean or sea. But at one point was a sea, and yeah, I believe that Duna had water once. Much like Mars does, it has been confirmed to have water at one point. There's like only a handful of science, like basic science, basic rover arm stuff. I don't have a rover arm. This thing's too small for a rover, really too small for a rover arm. This thing gets up to a decent speed. You can get around to areas. You know what? Why don't we drive to Duna's poles? And I make a series about it. First I have to figure out what direction Duna's poles are. And if I can even get up to there. Yeah, we're pretty far ways away. If only we had a navigation plot system. I could use a reconnaissance. I could use a recon orbiter to run the scans. And you know what? I forgot to put the activate the ground station. Let's go do that. This here is these are semi-permanent ground stations, actually. The reason I deploy a lot of these is because they help bounce the signal around the planet a little better. You may be thinking, why do I need to bounce the signal around? And why do you use I use a hybrid system? Because this is my comm network. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done anything. This comm system is massive. It's not the largest. I have Jewel. I don't have Elu yet. Elu has escaped my grasp once again. I don't often go to Elu. There's nothing. There's a little bit of science there, but I rarely go out there. It's just one of those places, you know, I never really go to visit. First, let's explore. Well, first, before we head to the poles, we have a mission. That mission is basically to find our way out of this area, and I think the best way is going to be going over that mountain. Oh yeah. Whenever this sort of happens, I was messing around with putting stuff into orbit earlier on I think another save. Yeah, it was a different save. I have another version of this save which I do use cheats on. This one I don't use cheats on. But I decided to diverge it from a different one since I wanted to play some of the stuff I've put into orbit, others I didn't. I just have to write. There we go. Let's keep going. The gravity on Duna is so low. It's a little bit lower than Kerbin. This has a very low center of gravity, but I can't lower its center of mass any lower than it already is. Like, it's already, I think, at its bare minimum. I mean, these, sorry, that is my dog in the background. Let's keep going. Again, these rovers. Well, this particular rover design, again, I've explained it in earlier videos, but it was inspired by the Pathfinder mission. And anyways, yeah, we're gonna be here for a while. This rover design is, well, it's actually quite complex for the, it's kind of simple, but it's kind of complex at the same time. You know what? Let's just drive. We'll do a drive wherever series across Duna. Because you don't really know with again, this is stock. This little Rover is completely stock. I'm not too good at really too good at launching things anymore. Like I can do transfer windows and I can get a transfer in an encounter. As for slowing down, I'm gonna have to completely rework the last stage on the mission. It needs a bit of assistance to slow down. Again, no quick saving or quick loading in this, which means that I have to do everything manually to make sure the Kraken doesn't attack, or at least use auto strut to limit the number of Kraken attacks I have. Again, let me emphasize to you why. That's totally not going to come back to haunt me, because that's going to be in orbit for a while. I have to terminate all those little bits and pieces. Yeah. This little rover just keeps on going. Like I can, it's actually very well balanced. I can confidently just take my hands off the keyboard and watch it go. Pretty sure if I strapped a Cal controller on this, which, you know, I'm probably not gonna do, but might be fun to do. Well, actually, I don't know. I might strap a Cal controller on, see if I can't make this If only there was a way to automate this so the modes would be running and you can choose the settings and stuff for the Cal controller. That would have been cool. Again, this rover itself, it's very good for scouting out potential locations. That's all it really was designed for. Scouting out. It takes the rough end of the landings out. Basically, what I can do is I can take this, go to curb net, give this sort of aerial view. I designed this little rover for mainly this purpose, to drive, really just to drive around and explore. Has some science things like if you get bored, it's more of a fidget rover, really. You can send it. The rover itself, if you remove the RTG inside, it's fairly cheap. And this rover was built to be affordable. But it has an impressive amount of part clipping in it. For those who dislike and heavily dislike part clipping, I'm sorry. The only way to make this thing so compact was to part clip things. Again, it's a 6-wheeled rover design. With decent handling characteristics. In fact, it's very agile. If you've noticed, it has a tendency to flip a lot. That's just because the maneuverability and its speed and maneuverability is enough that can, well, see, this little rover can travel. It's slow, but we're already at 8 kilometers, so roughly we're a fair ways away already. Let's go find a rock to bump up against. Yeah, I used a light. I wish I could, change the color. I wish I could. Anyways. I mean, yeah, this specific series of rovers is probably I've invested more time into this rover than I really should. Again, this rover is able to make these tight turns, so you can really, especially around the R&D building, you can go and you can take this thing upstairs. It's literally the right profile, right cross-sectional profile to go up the stairs on the buildings at the KSC. That's the, oh yeah. It's, yeah, this is a really nice little, that's actually a very beautiful view. So let me go over some of the stats for the Rover. Basically, its top speed while moving over terrain without being on a slope and just like from a dead start is around 10 meters per second, or around 10.7 meters per second. The weight of this craft is, well, it's in terms of handling, it handles very well. In terms of maneuverability, it can pull a tight turn. Whether or not you flip over is just what the speed you're going at is. Basically, all this rover is designed to do is to get in, give good camera angles and shots, and then get out, basically. It's purely for reconnaissance, to basically observe surface features more than anything else. Anyways, folks, that's gonna end this video. I hope you enjoyed looking at this little rover. Building this, I built the first version of this rover like a year ago. So yeah, this little rover's been around. The Rover series itself has been around for a long time, a few iterations before I finally settled on this design. And yeah, so yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. To any new viewers who are interested in me continuing this series and having this rover, and specifically having this little rover, I guess we can go do some orbital reconnaissance of Duna and pick a destination to get to and investigate any interesting surface features that we may find. Alright folks, that's going to end the video here. And yeah, I've said that several times. Okay.